chosen one, listen closely. Most people never become billionaires because they wait for the world to give them permission. But the ones who do rise to that level were chosen long before the money arrived. If you've stumbled across this message, it's not an accident. You didn't click this video, the video called you. Because when you are destined for unimaginable success, life begins shifting in ways you can't explain. People fall away, old doors close. You start questioning everything around you, and deep inside, you feel something is coming, not small, but life-altering. The kind of change that doesn't just increase your wealth, it rewrites your entire existence. You might not be a billionaire yet, but your spirit already is. And soon, the physical world will have no choice but to catch up to the identity you've been silently growing inside you. Listen closely, because once you hear these signs, you'll never see your life the same again. Chosen one, before we continue, like this video, subscribe, and comment, "I am ready" for a surprise that will accelerate your journey. You're about to learn the first sign that you're destined to become a billionaire. And it's the one most people misunderstand. It's not about money, it's not about status, it's not about luck. It's isolation. Not the sad kind, the powerful kind. When you're chosen for greatness, the universe starts pulling you away from distractions, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Suddenly, the group chats don't feel right anymore. The late-night hangouts don't feel fulfilling. You look at people you once spent hours with and wonder how you ever fit into their world. It's not because you're better than them, it's because you're evolving faster. You feel separated from most people, even those you care about. You sit in the same room, but you're not in the same frequency. Their laughs don't hit the same. Their conversations drain you. You feel like a visitor in a place you once called home, because mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you're already somewhere else. You're being upgraded, and upgrades always create distance. And while others crave attention, you would rather disappear and build. You're pulled away from meaningless connections, not by choice, but by force. Invitations don't excite you. Gossip makes you uncomfortable. Drama feels childish. Small talk feels suffocating. Because you're done living small. You crave depth. You crave purpose. You crave clarity. And the universe knows that can't exist in chaos. So life starts protecting your energy for the next phase. People fall away. Opportunities dry up. Environments shift. Not because you're unlucky, but because you're being redirected to the path that was meant for you. You don't tolerate mediocre conversations anymore because your mind is thinking on a scale most people around you can't even imagine. While they talk about nights out, you're thinking of assets. While they talk about vacations, you're thinking about legacy. While they talk about people, you talk about ideas. That's not distance. That's evolution. Success requires a new identity, and you're already stepping into it. You're becoming the person your future requires, not the person your past remembers. You may not feel ready, but readiness isn't a feeling. It's a transformation, and it's happening right now, whether you asked for it or not. The loneliness you feel isn't emptiness. It's expansion. You're not losing people. You're losing limitations. You're not falling behind. You're rising out of sight. The world cannot understand you while you are changing. It will only recognize you after you become. That silence you're sitting in, it's not abandonment. It's the training ground of billionaires. Leaders are forged in isolation. Empire builders grind in the shadows. Legends are strengthened in solitude. If you can relate to this, if you feel this message vibrating in your chest, then you're already further into your transformation than you realize. This is not a coincidence. It's not imagination. It's not overthinking. It's alignment. You're not here to blend in. You're here to break cycles, rewrite destiny, and elevate generations. And the isolation is the proof, not the problem. Now that you feel this truth resonating through you, get ready, because the next sign is even more powerful. And once you hear it, you'll understand exactly why your life has been unfolding the way it has. You start noticing that wealth is no longer something you chase to be admired. It's something you pursue to fulfill a mission. It's not about proving anything to the world anymore. It's not about showing people what you can afford, who you know, or what you wear. The desire is deeper now, almost spiritual. You want money because you have something to build, something to create, something that needs resources, scale, and reach. You don't fantasize about flexing on people who doubted you. You fantasize about executing the vision that keeps you awake at night. That shift alone is a sign of someone who's destined for extraordinary levels of wealth, because the people who get rich for approval stop once they become admired. But the ones who are driven by purpose don't stop. They build until the world matches the image inside their mind. You would rather build than impress. Other people take pictures to prove their life is going well. You work in silence because nothing needs to be proven. Sharing less has become natural because you're more focused on shaping reality than documenting it. The attention you used to think you wanted feels irrelevant now. Clapping doesn't finish the work. Validation doesn't pay you. Opinions don't build your future. You're operating from a mentality where results matter more than recognition. Even when no one sees you, even when no one applauds you, even when no one understands why you're obsessed with what you're doing, you keep moving. That shift is what separates those who look successful from those who become unstoppable. You stopped buying status and started investing in skill. Clothes, shoes, cars. The excitement evaporated. You don't feel addicted to the idea of being perceived as someone important. You're addicted to the idea of becoming someone powerful in reality. You buy books instead of brands. You buy courses instead of clout. You invest in knowledge, networks, tools, and habits that make you sharper instead of louder. When you do spend money, it's strategic. You ask, does this multiply me? Does this build my future? Does this increase my value? Not many people think like that. And that is exactly why most people never escape mediocrity. They consume the symbols of wealth while you are building the foundation of it. Money is becoming a tool, not an identity. It no longer controls you emotionally. You don't buy things to feel worthy. You don't need price tags to feel powerful. You don't let scarcity scare you. You don't let luxury blind you. You see money as a form of energy that's meant to flow in, through, and out of you with intention. You want to use it to build, grow, support, and expand. You're not afraid of having a lot of it, and you're not ashamed of wanting it. But your self-worth doesn't depend on the number in your bank account. You know who you are with or without material possessions. That emotional neutrality makes you dangerous in the best way, because nothing external can control you anymore. You've started thinking in assets, not lifestyle. When most people dream of money, they imagine spending it. You imagine multiplying it. You don't dream about buying a mansion. You dream about owning real estate that pays for the mansion. You don't dream of a fancy car. You dream of investments that buy the car automatically. You don't dream of the perfect vacation. You dream of passive income streams that fund that vacation forever. Your brain is shifting from consumer to creator, from buyer to builder, from spender to strategist. Most people chase wealth to escape responsibility. You chase wealth because you want more responsibility. Responsibility over your life, your time, your choices, and your legacy. You're no longer excited by looking rich. You're driven by becoming free. You want freedom from alarm clocks, from financial stress, from begging for permission, from living life on someone else's terms. You want the ability to walk away from anything that doesn't align with you. You want to take care of the people you love without thinking twice. You want to leave behind something that outlives you. That's not greed, that's destiny. Every time you turn down an unnecessary purchase, every time you invest in your future instead of your image, every time you choose delayed gratification over instant pleasure, you are separating yourself from the masses and joining the 1% who are wired for generational wealth. Your decisions now are shaping your reality later, and the way you think about money today is already putting you in alignment with the kind of wealth that changes everything. You don't want to be known for what you own. You want to be known for what you've built. You don't want to be remembered for how you looked. You want to be remembered for what you created. Wealth is no longer a fantasy. It is a requirement, because your mission needs it. You're not chasing money from insecurity. You're attracting money from identity. You're stepping into the version of yourself that sees the world as an arena for creation, expansion, impact, and influence. You are rising, and your bank account will eventually rise to match who you've become. The detachment you're experiencing is not a loss of desire. It's the evolution of desire. It is the transformation from consumer to creator, from spending to investing, from proving to building, from ego to purpose. And this transformation is irreversible. Ideas start showing up in your mind without permission, without planning, and without warning. You could be in the shower, driving, exercising, or trying to sleep, and suddenly a full strategy, business model, product, system, or solution floods your mind like it's downloading from somewhere beyond you. You're not forcing creativity, it's chasing you. You don't sit around waiting for ideas. Ideas hunt you down because they know you're capable of bringing them to life. And no matter how much you try to distract yourself, you can't tune them out. The more you ignore them, the louder they get. It's as if the universe keeps tapping you on the shoulder saying, "You were meant to build something. Stop pretending you can walk away from your purpose." Every time you think about quitting, giving up, or settling for an easier path, something happens that pulls you back in. A person reaches out. A resource appears. An opportunity you weren't expecting drops right in front of you. The timing is too perfect to be an accident. It almost feels like life refuses to let you settle for less than your potential. You decide you've had enough. You're too tired, too discouraged, too overwhelmed. And then out of nowhere, something clicks. A door opens, a strategy becomes clear. A new path shows itself, and suddenly you feel pulled forward again. That isn't coincidence, that is guidance. The vision doesn't fade. It doesn't disappear with time. You can change cities, change jobs, change friends, change routines, and still the idea returns. You try to talk yourself out of it because it's too big, too difficult, too ambitious, too risky, yet you can't let it go. You've tried ignoring it, and all it did was become more persistent. You've tried convincing yourself you were dreaming too big, and all it did was make the dream louder. Something in you knows that this isn't just your imagination, it's your destiny refusing to be abandoned. You feel called to create something bigger than you. It's not just about personal success. It's not just about money. It's not just about achievement. There's this deep inner knowing that you're meant to build something that affects people beyond your own life. You see problems in the world and immediately imagine solutions. You notice inefficiencies and instantly think of ways to improve them. You feel a responsibility to create, innovate, upgrade, and elevate. Even when you doubt yourself, the calling doesn't leave. It sits in your chest like pressure. Not stress, but urgency. You don't want to die with the idea still trapped inside you. Your future is louder than your fears. You might worry, hesitate, overthink, or doubt yourself like anyone else. But the pull toward what you could become outpowers anything that tries to shrink you. Every fear you have gets overshadowed by something stronger. The belief that you're meant for more. You don't even know where the belief comes from. It was just always there. Even when no one supported you, even when the odds were against you, even when you had no evidence that things would ever work, you still felt like success was inevitable eventually. That's not ego. That's intuition. It's not that you never get scared. It's that the picture of who you're becoming inspires you more than fear can stop you. And even on the days when doubt is the loudest voice in the room, you can't silence the vision. It's not optional anymore. It's a part of you. The idea is alive. It's breathing. It wants to exist in the world, and it wants you to be the one who brings it to life. You're not chasing the dream. The dream is chasing you. You don't think like everyone else anymore. Where others see limitations, you see openings. Where others see competition, you see market demand. Where others see risk, you see leverage. You notice patterns before they're obvious, trends before they become mainstream, and opportunities before anyone else recognizes the potential. You don't think in terms of what is. You think in terms of what could be. That's the mindset of creators, innovators, disruptors, founders, and empire builders. And you're not waiting for permission. Maybe you used to. Maybe you used to care what people thought, or whether you would be supported, or whether others believed in your ideas. But something has shifted. Approval is irrelevant. Understanding is optional. Agreement isn't required. You're done trying to convince anyone of the vision because you finally understand that it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. And the one who carries the blueprint is always the one who leads. There's a fire inside you that refuses to burn out. Even when progress feels slow, you don't lose the knowing. Even when nothing is working yet, you don't lose the belief. Even when the results haven't shown up physically, mentally, you're already building the next version of your life. You can see the future so clearly, it almost feels like memory, not imagination. And that's why it's so hard to pretend you're okay with an ordinary life. You've already seen what you're capable of, and once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. You've already lived pieces of your future in your mind. You've already experienced the emotion of success before it arrived physically. You've visualized the expansion, the wealth, the freedom, the purpose, the impact so many times that it feels real even though you haven't touched it yet. That's how billion-dollar dreams activate. The mind arrives long before the money does. And the best part, you're not waiting for the perfect moment anymore. You're not stalling for motivation. You're not trying to get everything figured out before you start. You're building while learning, improving while failing, adjusting while moving. You're done waiting for the path. You're creating the path. The idea won. The vision won. Your future won. Fear lost. There is no turning back now. The idea has chosen you. The mission has chosen you. And deep down, you know you were always meant to bring something into the world that didn't exist before you. Comfort doesn't feel like peace to you. It feels like danger. The moment life gets too easy, too predictable, too repetitive, something inside you starts to rebel. You can't sit still in a life that doesn't stretch you. You can't tolerate days that feel the same. You can't operate in an environment where nothing demands your evolution. Being too relaxed doesn't soothe you. It makes you anxious, like time is slipping away and you're not using your potential. Most people dream of a life where they can do nothing. You dream of a life where you get to do everything you were born to do. You crave challenges while others hide from them. When most people see a problem, they run. When you see a problem, your mind immediately starts solving. When others back away because something is hard, you actually get more focused, more alive, more driven. You perform better under pressure, not because you love suffering, but because you thrive when you're required to activate your full capacity. You feel most alive when you're building, pushing, progressing, learning, and evolving. That's not stress. That's your nature. You weren't built for passiveness. You weren't built for comfort. You were built for growth. The idea of staying in the same place, mentally, emotionally, financially, or even physically, suffocates you. You can't stay where you've already mastered. You need new targets, new skills, new goals, new worlds. The places where other people settle are the exact places where you outgrow yourself. You don't know how to retire from purpose, because purpose never stops. You don't know how to shut off ambition, because ambition is woven into your identity. You can love something deeply and still evolve beyond it when it stops supporting the person you're becoming. Fading is not in your DNA. Staling is not in your DNA. Expansion is. Stagnancy feels like suffering to you. Not having anything to reach for feels worse than working hard. You don't fear failure. You fear being stuck. You don't fear risk. You fear wasting your potential. You don't fear the unknown. You fear the comfort zone disguised as safety. That's why you get restless when things are too easy. You've learned that comfort is the fastest path to decay. The moment your life stops requiring your growth, you feel something breaking inside you. So you chase pressure. You chase goals that require evolution. You chase environments that demand the sharpened version of you. Expansion is not something you do. It's something you must do. You're built for expansion, not containment. When life tries to keep you small, you naturally revolt. When jobs, people, situations, or environments attempt to limit you, you feel it instantly. And you can't pretend not to. You don't care about fitting in. You don't care about playing safe. You don't care about maintaining the image of a stable, predictable life if it means sacrificing your destiny. The moment something stops aligning with your growth, you detach. Not because you don't appreciate what you have, but because you're not willing to shrink to keep it. You don't wait for permission to level up. You don't wait for validation to make a move. You don't wait for perfect conditions to take action. Growth is instinctive for you. You leave comfort behind the same way a snake sheds its skin. Automatically, naturally, and unapologetically. Even when it scares you, even when you risk losing things, even when others question your decisions, you still move. You're not afraid to start over if it means rising higher. You're not afraid to reinvent yourself if it means becoming greater. You're loyal to your evolution above everything else. Comfortable routines bore you. Predictable results bore you. A life without challenge numbs you. So you seek environments that demand your highest performance. You look for rooms where you're the least knowledgeable, not the most. You look for situations that stretch your capacity, not feed your ego. You look for people who inspire you to be better, not people who settle for less and try to convince you to do the same. Where others run from growth, you chase it. Where others protect their limitations, you destroy yours. What most people call pressure, you call momentum. Because you understand that diamonds are not formed in comfort. You don't want a life that pampers you. You want a life that sharpens you. You'd rather feel the pain of growth than the comfort of stagnation. You'd rather struggle to rise than coast your way down. And the more challenges you overcome, the more unstoppable you feel. You don't need life to be easy. You need life to be meaningful. You don't dream of weekends, vacations, and escapes. You dream of building a life you don't need to escape from. You don't want temporary breaks. You want permanent freedom. That's why comfort scares you more than sacrifice. Comfort can trap you. Comfort can silence you. Comfort can convince you to abandon your purpose. And you refuse to let that happen. You would rather fight for your expansion than surrender to a safe life that kills your potential quietly. Every time life gets comfortable, something inside you whispers, "There's more." You feel it in your chest, in your thoughts, in your intuition. You know you're not done yet. You know there's another level waiting, another evolution calling, another identity forming. You can't settle because your spirit won't let you. The discomfort you feel in comfort is proof of your destiny. If you were meant for an ordinary life, comfort would satisfy you. But because you're meant for a legendary one, comfort irritates you. You're not chasing chaos, you're chasing growth. You're not addicted to stress, you're addicted to progress. You're not restless because something is wrong. You're restless because something bigger is right around the corner. That internal pressure is not punishment. It's preparation. You're being shaped into someone who can handle a life of massive responsibility, impact, wealth, and power. You're not growing for nothing. You're growing because your future requires the strongest, wisest, sharpest version of you. This hunger inside you, this refusal to settle, this obsession with becoming better, it's not common. It's not random. It's not a phase. It's the wiring of someone who is destined to change their life and change the world. You can pretend to be average. You can hide your potential. You can shrink to make others comfortable. But you can't stay there long. Sooner or later, your true nature takes over and pulls you into expansion again. People react to you long before you achieve anything they can see. They sense something in you that you haven't even fully stepped into yet. You walk into a room and people notice, not because you're trying to dominate attention, but because your potential speaks louder than your presence. Some people are drawn to it and want to be near you because they can feel greatness developing within you. Others feel threatened by it before you've even done anything. They misunderstand your calm for confidence, your intentions for ambition, your silence for superiority. You don't trigger people with arrogance. You trigger them with potential. You've seen it happen. You start elevating your life, and suddenly the people you thought were loyal begin acting differently. Fake friends don't show their true faces until your success forces them to. Everything was fine when you were struggling like them. Everything was fine when you weren't changing. But the moment you decide to rise, the moment you make progress, the moment your results start to reflect your discipline, they reveal their envy. People who secretly counted on your stagnation become hostile the moment you stop staying at the level they expected. They take your growth personally because it reminds them of what they're not doing in their own lives. People compete with you without you ever declaring a competition. You're not trying to be better than them. You're trying to be better than yesterday. But they watch your progress like it's a scoreboard. You become a mirror to their insecurity. Your ambition exposes their laziness. Your discipline exposes their excuses. Your evolution exposes their comfort. You don't have to attack anyone to become intimidating. Progress alone does it. And when your aura shines, some people melt and some people burn. You trigger both love and insecurity everywhere you go. Certain people feel calm around you because they see your greatness and feel inspired by it. Others feel panic around you because they see your greatness and fear being overshadowed by it. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with who they are when your presence exposes them. Light reveals everything, including the shadows. You felt different your whole life. Not superior, just different. Even as a kid, you noticed things others didn't notice. You asked deeper questions. You thought about life from angles others didn't understand. You saw possibilities where they saw limitations. You processed information differently. You moved at your own pace. You didn't follow the crowd because you couldn't, not because you were rebelling. You were never wired for imitation. You don't fit in because you're not supposed to. You weren't made to duplicate anyone. You weren't meant to blend into rooms. You were built to shift them. You were built to disrupt patterns, not follow them. You were built to lead, not conform. You are the blueprint, not the copy. You were sent here to create something that has never existed before. That's why people have always felt something different about you without being able to explain it. Your uniqueness is your empire. Everything that makes you stand out today is going to be the reason people follow you tomorrow. The ideas that make others doubt you now will be the same ideas that make the world respect you later. The traits that made you feel out of place while growing up are the traits that will make you irreplaceable in adulthood. The world tries to teach everyone to be the same. But wealth, success, and impact are always built by the ones who dare to remain different. And because of that, you can never go back to your old life. Once the awakening happens, it's irreversible. You can't pretend you don't know what you now know. You can't shrink to fit back into environments that you mentally already grew out of. You can't play small without feeling like you're betraying yourself. You can't go back to sleep spiritually once you've recognized your purpose, your calling, your direction. The old version of you is gone. And that's not a loss. It's evolution. You've outgrown people who don't challenge you, habits that don't develop you, and places that don't represent your future. That's why old environments feel uncomfortable now. You no longer enjoy the things that once distracted you. You no longer tolerate relationships that drain you. You no longer relate to conversations that revolve around nothing. You're not cold. You've grown. You're not distant. You're focused. You're not acting different. You are different. The old life can't hold you because the old identity no longer exists. And the more you try to revisit it, the more wrong it feels. The universe is no longer allowing you to settle. The person you used to be can't take you where you're going, so it had to fade. You're not being punished, you're being transitioned. You're not being abandoned, you're being redirected. You don't feel pulled backward anymore. You feel called forward, even if you don't know what the next step looks like, even if you can't see the full path. Something inside you keeps saying, keep going. You don't need the full map because you're not following logic. You're following alignment. You're not relying on certainty. You're relying on destiny. Your next chapter isn't behind you. Everything you're meant to become is ahead of you, and the door behind you is locked on purpose. You've tried to go back before. You've tried to return to old relationships, old lifestyles, old patterns, old versions of yourself. But every time you tried, life made you uncomfortable. Not because you failed, but because that door is not yours anymore. You're not meant to fit back into a life you've outgrown. If that door stayed open, you'd stay small. So it closed to protect you. It closed so you couldn't talk yourself out of your purpose. It closed so your destiny would become the only path forward. Discipline suddenly becomes the most natural part of you. You're not dragging yourself to work on your future anymore. You feel pulled to it. The grind doesn't feel heavy, it feels necessary. It's not a chore, it's alignment. You don't need hype videos, motivational quotes, or someone cheering you on. You move because building your vision has become part of your identity. The person you're becoming leaves no room for laziness. Productivity feels like oxygen. Progress feels like safety. Standing still feels wrong in your body. You don't need inspiration to take action. You take action because it's who you are now. You start feeling guilty when you're not building your future. Hanging out too long, scrolling too long, sleeping too long. It all triggers something inside you that says, you're wasting time you could be using to change your life. It's not punishment. It's your spirit correcting your direction. Your habits begin aligning with your destiny automatically. You eat better, not because you have to, but because you want to perform better. You wake up earlier because your mind is hungry to execute. You protect your time because you realize your time is your empire. You start optimizing yourself without forcing it. You're no longer trying to win. You're becoming the person who wins by default. And then something powerful happens. Opportunities start finding you. The right people show up at the exact moment you need them. You don't chase connections. Your value attracts them. Doors that you didn't even know existed begin to open. You meet someone casually, and suddenly they turn out to be a mentor, a collaborator, an investor, or a partner. You find a resource you didn't search for. You receive invitations you didn't expect. Things that used to feel out of reach start seeking you out. You're no longer fighting for momentum. The world begins shifting to match your level of discipline and energy. Success stops feeling accidental and starts feeling inevitable. Not because you're lucky, and not because things suddenly got easier, but because you became someone who consistently shows up, who built the habits that produce results, and who attracts opportunities instead of relying on force. You become magnetic. Your reputation starts forming even before you speak. People can feel your direction, your momentum, your hunger. You're not begging for a chance. You're being observed because others see where you're going. The world adjusts to your frequency. When you were unsure of yourself, the world was unsure of you. Now that you've decided who you are, everything around you rearranges to support it. But here's the moment that separates those who reach extraordinary success from those who stop halfway. You stop fearing loss. You're willing to risk comfort for legacy. You'd rather stretch yourself than settle. You'd rather face the unknown than live a predictable life that doesn't excite you. Most people freeze when there's something valuable to lose. You move faster. You'd rather fail trying than regret not trying. You're not naive. You know success isn't guaranteed, but staying the same is far more terrifying to you than falling. Fear of stagnation outweighs fear of failure. When faced with the choice of security or destiny, you choose destiny every time. You'll sacrifice ego, comfort, opinions, and temporary pleasure if it means protecting your long-term vision. You understand that loss doesn't destroy you. Staying small does. Losses don't scare you anymore because you've learned that you can rebuild yourself from anything. You've survived enough disappointments, setbacks, and betrayals to know that nothing can actually stop you. Failure has become data. Pain has become fuel. Rejection has become redirection. The worst already happened, and you're still here, stronger than before. So what do you really have to fear? You already proved that you are your greatest asset. You've learned to bet on yourself. You no longer doubt your ability to rise. You trust your ideas. You trust your instincts. You trust your discipline. You trust that even if something collapses, you can rebuild it in a stronger and smarter way. You're not afraid of losing money, opportunities, or support, because you know the real source of your success is inside you, not outside you. Once you develop self-belief, formed through evidence and discipline, no external circumstance can intimidate you. Your resilience is becoming your superpower. You don't break easily. You don't fold under pressure. You don't panic when things go wrong. You've learned how to pause, analyze, adapt, and continue. They can underestimate you, but they can't stop you. They can doubt you, but they can't derail you. They can walk away, but they can't weaken you. You're past the point of dependency. You are self-made from the inside out. You don't sit around waiting for the perfect moment anymore. You create the moment. You build momentum. You generate your own opportunities through consistency, clarity, and conviction. You don't ask, "What if I lose?" You ask, "What if I never try?" And that single shift puts you in a category most people never reach. The category of those who refuse to live a life that betrays their potential. You no longer fear the cost of pursuing your goals. You fear the cost of abandoning them. And the world respects that energy. When you show you're willing to outlast setbacks, outgrow environments, and outwork circumstances, life has no choice but to reward you. You're not becoming someone who might win. You're becoming someone who can't be defeated, no matter how long the journey takes or how many times you have to rebuild. You're not chasing success anymore. You're becoming the version of yourself whose success is drawn to. And the people who think luck separates winners from everyone else will never understand that the real separation is identity. You've built the identity. You've built the habits. You've built the mindset. You've built the resilience. Synchronicities begin appearing everywhere. Numbers repeating. Perfect timing. Signs you can't logically explain. It's like the universe is speaking a language only you can hear. You think of someone and they contact you. You need a solution and suddenly it shows up. An unexpected opportunity appears exactly when you are ready for it. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations. You're not wandering anymore. You're being guided. It feels like an invisible hand is moving pieces around you. What looks random to outsiders feels intentional to you. Every shift, every delay, every encounter holds meaning. You start recognizing that the right person shows up the moment you need them most. Not when you wanted them, but when you were prepared for them. A mentor appears when you've proven you can listen. A partner appears when you're ready to collaborate. A resource appears when you've shown discipline. Nothing is early. Nothing is late. It's all precise. Even the people who leave do it on time, because their exit creates space for better alignment. The pattern is too clear to ignore. Life is moving in your favor, even when the evidence isn't obvious yet. Closed doors no longer devastate you, because you can feel they're not rejection, they're redirection. You sense when something isn't aligned, even if it looks good on the surface. That job that turned you down, that friendship that faded, that opportunity that slipped away. None of it was loss. It was protection. It was the universe removing what would have slowed you down, dimmed you, or diverted you from a bigger purpose. You're no longer attached to outcomes that aren't meant for you. You've stopped fighting what's leaving and started trusting what's coming. You feel protected, no matter the chaos around you. Even in uncertainty, your intuition whispers, "You are safe. Keep going." There's a calm in your spirit that doesn't match your circumstances. You've survived too much to doubt your path now. The storms that once terrified you now reveal your guidance system. Challenges don't convince you you're off path. They prove you're getting closer. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start thinking, "Something bigger is aligning for me." That shift in perspective changes everything. You don't just believe in your path. You know this path chose you. You can feel the weight of destiny on your shoulders, but it doesn't scare you. It motivates you. You're not building because you want validation. You're building because there is something inside you that refuses to let you settle. Something calling you forward. Something insisting you rise higher. Your spirit won't let you live an average life. You weren't designed for ordinary. You weren't built for small dreams. Every sign, every loss, every breakthrough has been shaping you for something monumental. And deep down, you've begun to understand that your success isn't just about you. The big dream you carry, the wealth you're heading toward, the vision that won't leave you alone. It has the power to elevate others. Your breakthrough will unlock doors for people who never had opportunities. Your courage will give someone else permission to rise. Your example will become proof that greatness is possible. You're not becoming wealthy just to collect money. You're becoming wealthy because you are meant to become someone who changes lives. Your future wealth will feed families, create jobs, open pathways, build systems, shift legacies. The impact you're meant to make is bigger than numbers in a bank account. Every skill you've learned, every hardship you've overcome, every painful experience you've outgrown, it all positioned you to lead. You're being shaped into someone capable of influence, someone others will look to for direction. You will become the person people study, follow, and learn from. Not because you wanted attention, but because you earned respect. You're being prepared to become a leader others rise with. You've grown through loneliness, so you'd understand people. You've grown through pain, so you'd understand healing. You've grown through scarcity, so you'd understand abundance. Nothing you've survived has been random. It's been training. You're not just going to succeed, you're going to architect success for others. You're going to become the mentor you never had, the system you never found, the example you once needed. Your purpose is bigger than the money you'll make. The money is just a tool, a vehicle to deliver your mission into the world. Wealth in your hands becomes change. It becomes opportunity. It becomes support, elevation, expansion. You're being guided not just to win, but to build, to create something that lives beyond you, something that outlasts your lifetime, something future generations benefit from, something the world doesn't have yet, because it's waiting for you to finish becoming the version of yourself who can build it. You were chosen to create something the world needs, something only you could produce because only you lived through the experiences required to understand it. Your pain became your perspective. Your perspective became your purpose. And your purpose is about to become your prosperity. The universe didn't put that dream inside you by accident. The calling you feel is the proof of the future you're meant for. You're not rising for personal gain. You're rising because it's your assignment, because the world will be different, because you existed, because your success will give others permission to dream bigger, move smarter, and break generational limits. Because someone in the future will say, "I didn't give up because I saw them do it." And that is why destiny has been shaping you this whole time. That is why you were separated refined, stretched, disciplined, and guided. You are not becoming successful just to shine. You are becoming successful to light the way.